Hey, beautiful souls. How you doing? It's Jeannie here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. I wanted to record a short video to share how our external environment, which showing up for us in our physicality, is a reflection of what's going on internally, often subconsciously. I posted a couple days ago about a series of experiences that I had with my car. It started off with a flat tire, no biggie, happens to everyone. And then I went to a fabulous meeting, and on the way back from my meeting, I was in an underground parking to retrieve my car, and I noticed it's all of a sudden very smoky, and then the alarms start going off, and then the sprinkler system turns on, and I can see my car in the distance, and the car just 2 cars down from it is actually on fire. It's smoking profusely, and I can't get to my car. I have a split-second decision to make, and I'm thinking, I gotta get my car and get out, or I'm gonna be trapped in here downtown. So I can't get to the front door of my car because of how hard the sprinkler system is coming down. So I open the trunk, and I'm drenched, crawling through on my heels through the back of my car, pull my car out, get the hell out of Dodge before all the fire trucks show up. And as I'm cruising down the highway home, so grateful that I escaped that situation. A couple minutes later, I'm going 80 miles an hour on a 5-lane highway, and all of a sudden my steering wheel seizes up. I mean, it was so frightening. I was like, oh my gosh, it's not responding. And I had to cross 4 lanes to get to the end. And it was a series of crazy events. But what's so fascinating to me in retrospect is how what was happening in my physical experience was mirroring what I had been thinking about for the couple days before that, which is the fact that I'm off-roading. Off-roading. I actually wrote that in my journal. I'm off-roading in my life. And I feel like I'm on this detour in my path and not sure if this detour is taking me way too far off my path. Am I veering too far off the road? Am I taking too great a risk? Am I, is this GPS even working at all? And so I'm so fascinated at how, the universe decides to show up for me in this way to get my attention. And so as I'm asking these questions, because, there is a part of me, the recovering perfectionist, the part that wants to feel safe and have everything controlled. There's a part of me that is longing for the smooth cement trail to be in ease and flow and have, nothing uncomfortable pop up for me. But there is this other part of me, my spirit, that is excited and alive with the possibility and the hope of venturing off my path, of off-roading. There's a little bit of a spark of excitement in the spontaneity and the creativity that comes from not having everything perfectly aligned, from taking risks. And so here I am trying to balance these feelings out. And what I'm asking my highest self, when I ask my highest self, the question du jour comes up. And the question is, what if the detour is in fact the path? What if this space that I am telling myself is wrong? What if all of these events that I'm telling myself are not as I want them to be? What if what is showing up in my world feels imperfect, feels like challenges, all these things that I want to change in my life? What if the detour that I'm on is in fact the path? And the reason this question is important is because if I can be in a state of mind that accepts, even momentarily, 10 seconds, 30, 2 minutes, if I can be in a state where I accept that this space that I'm in, however I choose to describe it, is in fact the path leading me towards everything that I want, then my energy changes. And when my energy changes and I am not coming from a space of lack, of fear, of disappointment, of worry, of frustration, when I'm not in that energy, but I'm instead in the energy of acceptance, saying, and curiosity, maybe this is in fact the path. Maybe I can't see the turn around the bend that is going to be the pivot point to shift my trajectory to lead me exactly where I want to go. Maybe I just can't see it. If I could be in that space energetically, even just for a little while, it changes the energy of how I show up. And when it changes the energy of how I show up, everything in my physical world starts to change. And so what happened, to bring you back to that day with the car, is what I didn't mention in my post, because it would have been too lengthy, was all the wonderful things that showed up for me that day. I had an amazing lunch with a soul sister. I had friends and family who came to my rescue to support me with my car, checking in with me, making sure that I was okay. I showed up at my cousin's house, disgruntled and worried after my car had broken down, and she had just gotten a new puppy, and I had a moment with that puppy. And so when I could change energetically, I noticed that everything else started to shift. And so I want to offer you the consideration that if we can take everything that we're describing as wrong in our life and accept it as the path, as the perfect path, as actually the curve right before the bend that's going to lead us into our greatness. Just the acceptance of that and the energetic shift that takes place is what is going to bring us back into alignment. That's what I'm offering. And I'm not your guru, as you know, but I'm here to share my experience and my awareness. And what I'm really curious around is what you think about that. So let's start this conversation. You know I love you. Bye for now.